Today, it's going to be a reefer lane out here. And if you want your lane broken down on the show, you guys just email my team, podcast@thefreightcoach.com. And all I need is a pickup city, delivery city, and a trailer type. And I just help you guys read the market. I'm not going to tell you what to quote on this stuff because, frankly, I don't know what your customers' budgets are. I don't know how hot a certain shipment is. I just want you to understand what I look at as I'm going out there and assessing new lanes for my customers. And with this one, we are going to be breaking down Laredo, Texas to Atlanta, Georgia. And yeah, pretty much everybody I know who moves produce freight, which is a lot of my friends in this industry, move refrigerated, move produce. And every single one of them in the last couple of weeks has talked to me specifically about South Texas and Southern Arizona and just like how hit and miss it is out there right now. And so as we always lead in with this, you guys, this is a great weekday lane. All right. And I say that because, hold on a sec here. That's not, something just happened on my computer. There we go. I'm not a tech guy, but this one, you guys, it's 1,142 miles. So this is a great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lane, shipping Thursday and shipping Friday to Monday. Obviously, if it's a weekend receiver, there's going to be, an upcharge that comes along with it. But when I'm looking at this, Thursday to Monday, Friday to Monday is going to be exponentially more expensive for any mode when it comes down to this mile marker on here, but especially inside of refrigerated, because they got to obviously run their reefer unit an extra day of transit out there. But I want you guys to pay attention to this absolute spike that has gone on out here, okay? This time last year, we're in April now, this specific lane, Laredo to Atlanta, was moving for $3,200, all right? Pretty much, I went to public school, you guys, so you guys can do the math on the rate per mile on there. But if we're looking at where it's been, it's like $4,700 now to move this specific lane. And Laredo to Atlanta is a pretty solid lane. There's a lot of carriers out there that are willing to run this one. And obviously everybody's heard about diesel prices going up. I am of the mindset, a lot of the constraints that we are seeing in the current market from a capacity standpoint, I think are very much tied to the price of diesel. We work with a lot of the same carriers. All right. Like I actually practice what I preach on this show. We have our core carrier base that's out there. And we were talking to a couple of them here earlier this week. And they've all had to request higher credit limits from their fuel providers currently, because like the amount of additional fuel that they are paying right now and having to float that to wait for their invoices to come in it's tricky, right? So I think that is a big part of why some of these individuals have just parked their trucks over this past couple of weeks, because they can't afford to run. I think one big thing out here, specifically when you get close to the border, immigration is a very, very real thing going in and out of these areas. Now, not saying that every driver who goes, close to the border is illegal or anything like that. I just know that there could be potential backups at some of these checkpoints that are out there. And if you've never driven down close to the border, you guys, there's like multiple checkpoints. Not only is there at the border where Customs and Border Patrol sit, where you got to, show your passport, the further you get in, I don't know the exact mile markers that there are, but like there's multiple immigration checkpoints the further you drive up there. And I would assume, and from what I've heard from people in the industry, that there is a massive deterrent for capacity to even want to go down there because of the wait times, the processing times that go on. And these are even people who are 100% legal operations. They just don't want to deal with it. So that is a couple of those key points that you see on why prices are what they are right now. Okay. And if you haven't had that conversation with your customer, after I tell you guys about this lane a little bit more, I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I've said out there, because again, I want you guys to actually like know what to say in these situations, because some of you maybe have never had to have this call. But with this lane in particular, again, I think you should be speaking with your customers specifically about the fact that this lane is probably not going down anytime soon. I would expect this lane to only continue to rise. And I would want to talk to my customer about working with them on a load by load basis. All right. I wouldn't be blindly accepting anything unless you have a solid core carrier base that is committing capacity to you and you know that they're going to be down there. If you have contracted pricing with your customers right now, specifically on this land, like if I was in your position and I was basing the data off of last year's numbers, and I'm looking at all of this stuff, you guys, and I'm assuming a lot of you put in your bids based on November and December data. So maybe you put in a little bit of a cushion in there. But if you didn't, I would be talking to them about potentially rebidding this lane right now. And I would almost want to talk to them about getting truck in hand pricing for this specific lane and other lanes. I'm assuming out of there. We got a lot of stuff from South Texas that was submitted here, you guys. So I'm going to probably spend a lot of time in South Texas here for the foreseeable future, specifically for dry van and refrigerated. But again, I would just have a conversation with them about this because it might not even be a price. There might just be a actual drop in lack of capacity entirely. Loads are going to start to sit. And I'm going to work this through. But like this lane in particular, if you're in a truck in hand spot market situation, you're in a very strong position right now. But you also need to have this conversation that I'm going to tell you guys to do here. But this lane in particular, Laredo to Atlanta for a reefer, pay attention to those miles, but pay attention to where this market is trending. I wouldn't be surprised if this is in the mid fives by this time next month. And it's only going to get higher as holidays start creeping in here with Memorial Day, 4th of July, stuff like that. This is a lane to watch. And I would be very weary about how much freight I would commit to this here moving forward.